Hello there, beloved Ascension Pioneers. I want to come to you today with a message that deals with the essential symptoms again and the nature of change we're now all undergoing and all these undertakings, that are here for all of us that we're taking a part of. We all probably sometimes wish that we don't want to be in this world. When we're at our weakest, we say, I don't want to be here. I just want to go back home. And when we ask ourselves, well, what is home really is, we don't know. And the thing is that we feel it. We feel our home. We feel the nature of our energy signature. The more that we are awake and aware, the more that we feel our energy blueprint and our unique energy signature, who we are as beings. So even though there are these days that we do that, we don't know still what is home, is something external to us. Many people say they do, but they don't. Because the whole nature of being here is going through these changes without thinking there's somewhere else you should supposed to be now. Because a lot of people, when they do something, they still think maybe they're supposed to be doing something else, or they're not here for a reason. And they just keep forgetting that what we're here for, it's so purposeful, it's so meaningful. And even though I myself have these outbursts, of energy when I just don't get it, and I'm just so tired of all the changes that my body is experiencing. For instance, losing weight for no proper reason, or things like that. And you just don't know. We don't know the whole thing of these changes that we don't know. The more that we describe these, inscribe these labels and try to analyze these things and say we do know, and so many healers on this planet say they do know the whole cause, but the whole meaning of even if it's a disease or it's just an assumption symptom, it's very mythical, it's very mystical. We don't know because we continue to forget that the nature of spirit, it's just so knowing. It flows through us, whether we're the least aware beings or the most aware beings. We are all infinitely bound to all that is, and the source nature of us is being. So the thing is that there's so many who now say that this change is all about rainbows and glitter, and it's all puffy and wonderful, and it's all joyful and great. And we still continue to release. We still continue to need to surrender more and need for less control. Just trust the spirit. Trust that we're here for a reason. Even though there are times when you just totally want to get out of this place. And we all experience that. And there were a lot of people who might have thought that because everyone else reports that this ascension is just based on this date or just a 2012 year timeline, it's not about that. Because the change, the shift in awareness, the shift that we're undergoing through the precession of the equinoxes, the galactic change, and even so the galactic cycle, it's just a process. And it's the gathering and the assimilating of all the light codes we continue to receive. It's not something that explodes and expands in just one day of a time. Although we also need to remember that we can only experience things in now. Because the more that we see everything from a perspective that includes such sentences as, oh my gosh, this entire year was so difficult for me. I've had everything from this to nausea, to digestive problems, headaches, I don't know, whatever symptoms you really would say. You still need to continue to remember that the high energy that is involving and engulfing the entire planet sometimes just makes us feel this way. Not because these energies are of this nature, because these energies are just what they are. They're neutral. They're divine, just like everything is. But our reaction to them is this way because the old is purging. So what we do is a lot of the times when we say ascension, we continue to think that it's something that we're supposed to reach, like this goal. And I've been talking about this a lot. But it's an infinite process. It's an infinite ascension. And it's this journey of complete surrendering to everything, whether it's pain, it's uncomfort, it's unease, anything, and just all the time trusting, even though that you don't know maybe the cause for your symptom, or maybe it's been 1 year and you still don't know why you have either headaches or digestive issues or whatever, and you think that maybe on the December solstice they're supposed to end and now you're just supposed to live like a fully light being. We forget we still have these physical bodies. And these bodies are going to continue to undergo this change. And that the change from carbon-based to silica-based, to crystalline-based is just a change that it just doesn't happen overnight. So a lot of the people I've been seeing through comments were experiencing these disappointments, self-disappointments, because they were setting themselves up to these expectations. And when we do that, we set ourselves up to the fall. And we continue to forget that there is no such thing as a directed deadline. and you're supposed to be there. And if you're not there, everyone else is going to override you and you're just going to miss your ascension ticket. It's not such a thing. You yourself are, riding on the ascension jet plane. It's you. You are behind the wheel. You're the coordinator. You're the pilot. So what's happening is we continue to release, while at the same time there's more awareness, there's more love, there's more kindness, there's more generosity. Of course, we still see duality and we continue to see it, but we don't emanate it from us. We really shift from our own inner experiences and setting up this beautiful vortex world around us and then expanding it outwards. And a lot of the times people see things externally and think that things are not changed and they're just not how they're supposed to be yet. And they're not how they're supposed to be yet. And remember, everything that we see and sense externally is what is happening with us internally. One of my recent sentences was, oh my God, everything is so repetitive, and there's issues I've been having. For instance, I'm very sensitive in my digestion. I just sometimes don't know, what things cause problem. Is it the energy? Or is it the certain types of food? Or what is it? And I don't know. And I always say, I don't know, And when I say I don't know, I really feel so powerful. That's the whole reason of not knowing, of surrendering to spirit and trusting that these changes that we don't always see how they're like, are exactly as they're supposed to be. Because imagine the amount of shift, of change that our bodies are going through. And just a few digestive reactions or a few headaches are minor in comparison to what you are all integrating, downloading and anchoring into your beingness. Sometimes we forget. We think we're supposed to be these superhumans and we're supposed to get everything right away. And we want instant manifestation and instant abilities. And oftentimes me and Yanni, we talk about this, and he says, these abilities, it's so limiting because people forget and they think it's all about the abilities, but because there's a reason why we don't have them here. For the general mass of consciousness, we can only have as much as we are willing and as much as we allow through our own soul encoding to have. Our soul will lead us. Our soul knows the way. So there's oftentimes, this disappointment amongst people, and they say, I'm still experiencing ascension symptoms. And how come? It's well beyond, 2012 and it's now 2013. And, yes, there's more light, there's more miracles, there's more expansion. But at the same time, the old is still being released from the collective. Look around yourself, look at the entire surroundings. Not just around you or where you live. Look around the world. Just feel it, sense it. But also trust that it's how it's supposed to be. So sometimes we have these symptoms and we say, oh gosh, maybe I'm not even there yet. And you get disappointed in yourself. You think you're supposed to have super healing abilities and you're supposed to just beam up, You are from within, you are through your awareness. Every particle of awareness is helping your body to move through this change. But you won't always know what is wrong with you. And, at the higher perspective, nothing is wrong with you. Your bodies are just adjusting. So I know that many people feel that. That is why I was guided to say this, because we all sometimes feel guilt or we want to be further along our journey that we're supposed to be. But remember, we always take upon ourselves as much as we're willing to take. I always say to people who experience that, who seem to experience the kind of awareness that they think because the general energies are like this, they're supposed to be always aligned with it. No, you will only be aligned as much as you're willing to take and integrate within you. There will always be the need to be diligent to follow these changes, because what happens with these energies when we absorb them, they're just laying dormant like they always were. These energies are now coming to the surface, but if we don't unlock them within our physical beings, within our higher awareness here in this human template, nothing will happen, because the action, the deed won't follow the awareness. The physical won't be the direct manifestation of the spiritual. The outer purity won't be the direct reflection of that mirror of spirit. This is what's happening now. We have to embrace the change through not knowing what is happening sometimes. Sometimes a lot of people still think they're sick and they look help with doctors, but they can help them. For instance, when there was something in my neck and the mountain wind really got me, and then it got really like this old injury and it still hurts. I can't move my head back like that. And I thought, and just by the thought of the word chiropractic, just, oh, no, my whole body went like, no, because I don't resonate with that kind of type of healing, because it's so physical. It just, body and all dense, so dense, and I didn't resonate with it. And the entire message was it will pass on its own, but give it time. Because, our bodies are adjusting to changes. Like our bodies are adjusting to things. For instance, if you break your leg, it's not okay the first second. Right now in this awareness, and we got to embrace it. Sometimes we want to be in the future. We all want to fly in the air. We all want to be telepathic right away. We all want to have these amazing abilities and be self-healing and need no food and have no digestive issues. But you know what? Why not accept where we are right now? Why not rather integrate the awareness that we have here and enjoy the certain part of the experience that we are experiencing right now? And please know that wherever we are, whatever we're doing is what is right. Recently, I was asked a question from someone that how do we know, when we do something or we don't want to do it, whether to discern if this is actually not to be done, or maybe, it's supposed to be, how's it said? How can I say it? Whether you're supposed to go through it and do it just, to prove that you're stronger, to yourself and that you can do more, like it's a challenge. But you know what? The mind does this. The mind starts telling you, oh, maybe this, and starts complicating. Well, the truth of the heart is simple. The heart knows no complication because in the heart you will just know, you will feel. If you're not feeling to do something, it's just not meant to be. Let it go. Drop it. Like a breath of fresh air. So don't be so hard on yourself, Even the comment that I have received from a certain individual about, being disappointed with themselves, with themselves, about where they are, how they're supposed to be reacting and treating each other. You know what? This is all part of big nonsense because even if sometimes, for instance, let's take the example that you yell at someone or you say nasty words to someone, you don't know what that person needed to experience. You don't know about the soul agreement. But when you trust that the energy manifestation that was right there in that moment, or the action or the deed that you were doing, for instance, you want to really play, but you're thinking, oh, I want to write, I want to do this work, oh, I need to finish something, but I want to play so much, and you can't decide. Well, the mind does that. If your heart says play, 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 then do it, and know that everything else will be done when you're in flow with your spirit. People are still too hard on themselves, not just others. Me too, sometimes. Everyone. Because the old is still being released. That's the whole general thing. And there's a fine line between realizing what are our habits and what is our true self. For instance, for me, the habits was to be I was very controlling in my nature. That everything was supposed to be perfect and I have to do things really right and everyone else has to do things right as well. But I don't need to control this. I have to trust that the harmony and perfection within me will be mirrored externally. And I can only change in my own actions. I can change those of others. So if I want harmony and they don't provide it in that moment, well, I have to change things and shift them and adjust them in the way that accordingly fits me. So the thing is, these are habits, but what you will recognize is your true spirit identity that also shapes your personality, which is not the same as ego personality. What I'm talking about here is the divine personality that is what you're here for, to do a certain part, to share your energetic signature. And we're all receiving divine personalities. But the human personality through the ego personality is what is more referred to, how I consider it, that part which we already identify with with that. So we identify ourselves only with the personality aspect, instead of seeing it just as this tiny particle that is here for a reason, to make us unique, to put the unique energy signature in this world. So when we're authentic and we really feel, we will see the difference between a habit or pattern or belief and our true authentic self. Because our true authentic self, and when we follow it, and when we need no understanding, we just need peace of accepting what is as it is, will always be simple. And when the mind makes it like, oh, but is it this or is it that? But if you would do something, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't bring you peace. It's not the right thing. It's not coming from your soul, you see? Okay, this is what I wanted to share with all of you today. And please, I'm putting it so much in your hearts. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't think that just because 2012 is over and 2013 is now here, you're not going to be releasing anymore. We will be doing what we need to do in every now moment, but only through our beingness. Our beingness through spirit will direct our moves. Whether to not move or move in a certain way, it doesn't matter. Let's just allow the being part of us to direct every doing part of us that needs to be done, if that is our divine task, so to say. And Until then, let's just embrace the unknown and know that we really do know when we allow ourselves not to know, and to trust the mystery of spirit in our life and creation. Thank you, my beloved pioneers, and I'll talk to you soon, and sending all of you so much love. Bye.